are looking for solar plants or farms very close to my area in Germany, in the area of North Rhine-Westphalia mostly, I came up with a very interesting farm that actually it was not a solar panel farm or something like that. It was not a wind turbine or a wind park installation place. It was not something like that, but it's a German farm that is attempting to harvest apples. They have a lot of apple trees and other kind of fruit trees around, and harvest energy at the same time, which is a great idea. That's called agrivoltaics, as far as I know. And it's a kind of new solution that is coming up, like newer and more and more. And it combines solar electricity or solar energy with crop production. Could be vegetables or fruit, and that's something that I think is very interesting, and I definitely want to know more about that. So that's why I decided to go there, so I could take a look at the farm, know more about it, learn how it looked like, what they did, how it worked, if it was being productive actually, if it was giving good results, and how would this combination work, like just like agriculture and solar energy at the same time. I think that's a great idea. Fortunately, they had an appointment or a guided free tour for Sunday, for the same week that I had called, and it was for a Sunday at 11 a.m. So for me it was okay, perfect, I can make it. So I set up the appointment and I went there. I was very excited about it, and even though I knew it was gonna be a long way, like more than 2 hours by train, then I need to get a car. I definitely wanted to do it, and I think it was totally worth it. This farm is located in Gelsdorf, Grafschaft, and it's a very small village. Very close to Bonn, actually. It's about 26 kilometers away from the city. But it's far enough so you could feel in a totally different place. And it was very interesting going visiting there. So like I said, the meeting would start at 11 a.m. And I made it on time. I arrived at 11 a.m. a little bit before to the place, right? And this time I was completely by myself. I was the only person there. I didn't have any friends coming in or someone I knew at the place or at the area. And there were many people at the place. I was not the only guest that time. Fortunately, everything was very well explained, so at the entrance you would arrive and you would see the sign with the very clear instructions like, hey guys, this is a map and here's where you have to go to, and once you see this red sheer, like this red umbrella, you're gonna know that you are in the right spot. You just have to stop and wait in that part until the tour starts, right? So I made it to the meeting point, I followed the map, followed the instructions, and of course I really had to make sure that I was at the right place, that I was at the right farm. The name is Obsthof Nachtwey. I think that's how it says. So I arrived there, and I just had to wait a little bit for it to start. I felt a little bit overwhelmed since I was the only person that was not German in that place. I also realized I was one of the youngest persons of the group. But anyway, I made it and I'm proud that I did it. So I like it so far. We're taking a look at the apple trees by now, and then at the end we're gonna take a look at the whole solar panel farm that they have here. So we'll see. I'm curious about that. So yeah, compared to my other visit, I was surrounded by many people, which made the visit very interesting, because then I was like, okay, this is something that matters a lot. It's not just like for people who want to use renewable energies, but also for farmers. It's a great solution that many farmers not just in Germany, but many other places around the world can use. And now, as you see, they left me behind. I have to run. There they are. So the tour focused first on the apple production and the apple trees, how they were protected, how they usually would take care of them, and how would the crops grow and everything related to it. They would explain what kind of conditions they had to have the crops in order to get organic food. They're very proud of the organic production of this farm, and that was very nice to see, like how proud they were and the kind of quality they could get from their fruit. So the first part was more focused on this fruit production, and it was, you could really see that it was not related to solar panels that much. You could not see the structure built. It was just like the standard production, how they had it before and how they had been having it for the last years. After a long walk, we arrived to the area of agrivoltaics or agrophotovoltaics. Well, not sure how to say that, but sure you know what I mean. So these solar panels were installed just for a special selected part and dedicated part to it. And it was interesting because we could really see how they were built, how this is part actually of a research project and it's not working currently as part of the farm or company itself, conducted mainly by the Fraunhofer Institute, and it's actually quite new. So the place was designed in 2018 and it was built in 2021. So it's very new. It's a research project that is just like coming up to life. And something else that's very important to be clear or have clear is that the facility is not producing electricity by now. This means by now that the solar panels are installed, they're built, everything's prepared and ready, but the facility is not producing electricity by now. In order to do that, there's lack of a transformer. So the transformer is going to be installed in January 2024, and once that happens, electricity is going to be converted and then it's going to be able to be distributed at least around the farm. It's not been an easy project since it requires a lot of money, it requires a lot of factors that come into play. So it's not just the money, not just the investors, but also the farmers' willingness to do that and take part of that project as well. The communities, if they agree with the, let's say, landscape change that is happening regarding to the solar panels and the agriculture, there's many factors coming into play. So that's why it's taking a lot of time to implement all this kind of research and make it really like a reality. But it's happening. And this is happening thanks to the Fraunhofer Institute for Solar Energy Systems. So this plant you can see here was built as a part of a research project called Agri-PV Fruit Growing, which was decided to be conducted here at the organic fruit farm Nachtwey. That's because it has and it reunites all the conditions, including weather conditions that are the most proper ones for fruit production, especially apple production. So the first intention of this project is to find out to what extent the agrivoltaics can protect the crops from the bad weather conditions. Bad weather conditions are hail, frost, sun, like too much sun or too much heating. So extreme heat is something that could really burn the crops and dry them out, not just like the trees but also the soil. And that's something that the solar panels can do very well. Like they serve as protection from the heat, and not just protect from it but also help distribute the heat evenly all around the area. So trees and fruit are not going to be burned. Something that's very important to highlight is the wide space left between the trees. As you can see here, there's like a lot of space between tree and tree, and the reason for this is so there could be enough space for the tractors to drive by and be able to soften and prepare the soil for the trees a lot faster and easier as well. Another intent for this project, or for this research project, was to find out in general how the or which types of variation, solar panel variation, would work better for the apple production, and also to know in general what kind of impact the solar panels would have on the apples grow and production as well. Something very interesting to know is that the solar modules and the solar panels were made specially for this project. The total capacity of the whole system is 258.3 kilowatt per peak. However, as I mentioned before, the farm does not produce electricity by now, so it's going to have to wait till next year, January 2024, in order to produce electricity and make use of all of this energy coming from the solar panels, from all of these modules and rows. After this tour, something interesting is that we could take a look at some stores, like some fruit or apple stores and stores all around the area, where you could buy different products, everything related to apples and different kind of fruit as well, but mostly apple. And something nice I have seen in Germany, is very common to see this at farms in small villages, is you can get directly the product not just from the store but also from vending machines. Oh, unfortunately the ones here only receive cash. But well, finally I made my way home, and before that I could not resist taking a stroll around Rheinbach. Rheinbach is the closest town to Gelsdorf, the place where I was, and the place where the farm is. And it's a very small town. It's so pretty, with Fachwerkhäuser all around. It was very lively. People all around. There were many coffee shops, coffee stores and restaurants everywhere, all along the streets. And I came across a kermesse. That was also very interesting. A very crowded kermesse on a Sunday in Rheinbach. I didn't want to, but I came across it. Oh, and to my surprise, the kermesse was on site and the vending machines here would receive cards. Voila!